Hello there, in my best Myra Rose voice. Welcome back to the Awaken Heart podcast, a podcast for healing women. I'm Autumn Moran, licensed professional counselor, life coach, yoga instructor, a fellow trauma-experienced, late-diagnosed neurodivergent woman. And today, we are going somewhere very gentle, somewhere that is asking, I'm going to ask of you to slow all the way down and get very, very soft with yourself. We're talking today about reparenting, specifically the shadow work of going back to the wounded parts of yourself and showing up for them the way the adults in your life should have shown up but didn't. This is not self-pity. I want to make that very, very clear. This is not wallowing. This is not victim mentality. This is not blame. And this is definitely not sitting in your pain indefinitely and calling it healing. This is about showing up for yourself in the way you have always needed others to show up. This is about showing up and showing support to yourself in all the ways you were failed. Not to punish anyone, not to stay stuck in whatever happened, but to give the younger versions of you what they needed so they can finally rest. Healing doesn't happen through willpower alone. It doesn't happen through pushing through. It doesn't happen for performing and being okay and fine. Healing doesn't happen if you make your life look good from the outside while the little person or people inside of you are still waiting to be chosen. Healing happens when you finally actually genuinely choose yourself. When no means no, when no more seriously means no more. When you speak to yourself and treat yourself the way you deserve to be treated as a child and as the adult you are now. That's reparenting. And it's changed everything for me. So I want to get into it. I want to help you reparent, heal the wounds, do some shadow work. So at first, what is reparenting? What clear definition can I give you? Essentially, reparenting is becoming the parent you needed and didn't fully have. Not to replace what happened, because you can't undo the past, but to provide right now for the parts of yourself that are still waiting for what they needed then. It's the adult you, the one who has done the work, who has the awareness, who is choosing healing, and is going back to the younger versions of you and giving them what they needed. Protection, validation, gentleness, boundaries, play, love, joy, understanding, space are simply the experience of being chosen. Like I said before, it is not self-pity. It is not blame. It is not staying stuck. It's not making excuses. And it's definitely not performing vulnerability for an audience. It is genuinely, actively showing up for yourself every single day in real, tangible, embodied ways. The difference is motion, right? Self-pity stays, reparenting moves you. It does something with what it finds. So like in shadow work, in parts work, we have wounded parts. Inside all of us are younger versions of ourselves. The child who wanted to be chosen and loved and accepted and embraced. The teenager who had no one. The young adult who made survival choices because survival was all she had. These parts didn't stop existing when you grew up or grew out of them. They didn't get resolved just because time has passed. They're still in there, still waiting, still carrying the weight of what wasn't given to them. And reparenting is going to them, finding them where they are and saying, I'm here now. I see you. I choose you. You don't have to wait anymore. But before we get to the softness, I want to acknowledge something that lives in almost every wounded part, and that's anger. It could look like resentment, it could look like disappointment, it could look like frustration, but underneath the legitimate, literal answer is it's anger. There's a lot of resentment toward mothers, toward fathers, toward the adults who should have shown up and didn't. I mean, there's even resentment toward the systems that should have protected and failed. But underneath the resentment at the adults, underneath all of it, is a little person who just wanted to be chosen, who just wanted to be loved, accepted, and embraced exactly as she was. And that's where the real wound lives, not in the anger at the specific people, though the anger is valid and real. It's in the longing, the child longing that was never answered. And I want to go back to the anger component. I want to talk about it for a second because anger is hard to access for many women. Many of us struggle to even admit our anger, not because we're not angry. You definitely are angry, but because society has very specific rules about anger for women and how we are allowed to express it. Especially for women who were taught that their anger made them difficult, dramatic, or too much. So the anger went underground into the wounded parts, where it sits as resentment, as depression, as a low-level hum of not okayness that you can't quite name. And reparenting asks you to name it, not to perform anger, not to weaponize it, but to acknowledge it honestly. There is a younger version of me who is furious about what she didn't get. And she deserves to have that acknowledged. Your inner child, your younger version of you deserves to have that acknowledged. You're allowed to be angry that you weren't chosen, that you weren't protected, that the adults around you were too broken to love you well. And you're also allowed to grieve it. And sometimes, almost honestly, all the time, both at the same time. So what does reparenting look like? First and foremost, it is about choosing yourself, really choosing yourself. This is the foundation, not as a concept, but as a practice. No means no. Not no, but I feel guilty. Not no, but let me explain at length. Simply no, because your needs matter, because your capacity is real, because the younger version of you never got to have her no honored, and you are honoring it now. No more means no more. The relationship, the pattern, the treatment, the standard, when you're done, you're done. Not because you're giving up, but because you finally love yourself enough to stop accepting what diminishes you. And you have to talk to yourself with gentleness. How do you talk to yourself when you make a mistake? How do you talk to yourself when you're struggling, when you fall back into an old pattern? The reparenting shift is from, I should be further along. I'm so stupid. Why do I keep doing this? It shifts from that to, I see you. This is hard. You're doing your best. What do you need right now? Do you see the difference in how that feels to hear those words spoken to you? Talk to yourself the way you would talk to a child you love fiercely, with patience, with understanding, with the assumption that struggle is normal and not evidence of failure. Next up, you need to learn to play, sis. This one surprised me when I first encountered it in my own healing. I had to learn how to play. I had to not be so serious. I had to figure out what play even meant for me, what brought genuine, uncomplicated joy. Because play was not safe in childhood for many of us. Play got interrupted. Play was conditional. Play was something that happened around trauma, not in spite of it. Reparenting includes giving yourself permission to play, to do things just because they bring you joy, not because they're productive, not because they make you better at something, just because they feel good. For you, play might look completely different than someone else's play. And that's the point. This isn't about performing joy. It's about discovering what genuinely delights your specific, particular neurodivergent nervous system and giving yourself just that. For me, it's yoga, taking a yoga class, taking a Pilates class, going on a bike ride, cycling indoors, going for a walk, reading a good book, whether it's learning something or getting lost in a story, cooking new meals, hanging out with my kids, playing with clay, coloring in coloring books, coloring on my iPad. I could go on and on because I spent so much time trying so many things that now I have a list in my toolbox of anything I can do that brings me joy depending on my energy level. And I need you to bring genuine joy in. Wear what you want, explore what you're curious about, change your hair, your style, your routines, even if it goes against what everyone else does or what people expect of you, even if it surprises people who thought they knew you. The little person inside of you who has been forced to be a certain way for other people's comfort, she never got to be herself. And reparenting is a way to give her that now. And I have a go bag principle. It's something I tell my clients that I want to share with you. Like, we are all toddlers. We always need a go bag. Think about what you pack for a toddler when you're taking them somewhere: snacks, comfort items, a change of clothes, something to keep their hands busy, something familiar. Your nervous system needs the same things everywhere you go. Your sensory comfort items, your loop earplugs, your fidgets, your soft layers, your snacks because of blood sugar dysregulation is real, and a hungry neurodivergent system is a dysregulated one. Your comfort object, whatever that is, this is all in your go bag, your plan for when things get overwhelming. You're not being high maintenance. You're being the attentive, prepared, loving caregiver your inner child never had. You're packing the go bag because you matter enough to be prepared for. And last but definitely not least is gentle, respectful self-talk. The way you'd talk to a fragile, vulnerable toddler who is trying to understand a confusing world, that is how you speak to yourself. Not baby talk, not infantilizing. I think I'm messing that up. Infantilizing. Don't talk to yourself like a baby. Be gentle, patient, and assume good intent. Assume that when you're struggling, you're doing your best with what you have. Use the same assumption you extend to a child without question. You are a toddler. Treat yourself accordingly. So what helps? What helps to reparent? Number one, first and foremost, is getting out of your body and journaling. Writing is one of the most powerful reparenting tools available because so much of what your wounded parts carry has never been put into words. It's been held as sensation, as reaction, as pattern, but not language. When you write it out, you give it language, and language changes things. It makes the formless formed, the unnamed named. You can write to your younger self, tell her what you wish someone had told her, tell her what was true that no one said, tell her you see her, tell her she was never the problem. Write about what you're angry about without editing, without performing composure. Let the wounded parts speak. Write what you needed that you didn't get. Be specific. Not I needed love, though that's very true, but I needed someone to notice I was struggling. I needed someone to ask if I was okay. I needed someone to stay by my side. Write out your next steps. What does the adult version of you need to do today to show up for the younger version? Whatever it is, get it out of your body and onto a page. Throw the perfectionistic lens out, throw having to do it, quote unquote, right out, and just mind dump. Get it out. Talk to your parts, talk to the wounds, talk to the hurt, talk to the resentment. Let it all the fuck out. Body movement, not punishment, but for pleasure. Your body has been carrying your wounded parts, literally. The freeze responses, the held tension, the places where grief lives as tightness and fear lives as constriction. All these are what your body has been carrying. Movement helps what's stored. It moves it. It moves the stagnation. It moves the hurt. It moves the wounds. And I'm not talking about punishing movement. I'm not talking about calorie counting or appearance-focused or performance-based movement. I'm talking about wholesome, happy, body-celebrating movement, whatever that means for your specific body on any given day. For me, like I said earlier, yoga, walking, cycling, swimming, because these feel good to me, because they connect me to my body as a place that I want to live rather than a problem to be managed. So simply ask your body what it wants, not what you think you should do, what actually sounds good, what would feel like a gift rather than an obligation when it comes to body movement. Self-talk and self-confidence building are huge action steps because your inner critic is loud. It was installed early and it has a lot of practice. The reparenting work is gradually, consistently replacing the critic's voice with the advocate's voice, the best friend's voice, that voice that says you're doing it, you're capable, you're worthy, keep going. Affirmations work when they're true, not I am perfect, but I am doing my best and that's enough. I am enough, I have enough, I know enough. I am enough, I have enough, I know enough. Grab one and stick to it. Start simple. Build confidence by doing things you said you'll do, small things. Notice the things that you do because your wounded parts learned that they couldn't be counted on to be followed through for. So every time you follow through for yourself, even in the smallest ways, you're rewiring, you're rewriting that belief. Clinically, I'm a big fan of CPT, cognitive processing therapy, not to be confused with CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. CPT works specifically with the deep-seated beliefs that were created in childhood as survival strategies. Beliefs such as I'm the problem, I'm too much, I'm not worth protecting, love means pain, if I stand up for myself, they'll leave, if I express myself, I'll be harmed. CPT helps you identify these beliefs, examine the evidence for and against them, and reframe them, not through positive thinking, but through honest, evidence-based examination of whether these beliefs are actually true. The result is that the wounded parts start to be freed from beliefs that were never accurate. They were survival adaptations. But they are not truth, and CPT helps you distinguish between the two. If you're working with a therapist, ask about CPT. If you're not in therapy, journaling through the beliefs, writing them out, and then honestly examining the evidence is a starting point. So, to the little one wanting to be chosen, you are worth choosing then, you are worth choosing now, and you're going to be chosen by the adult version of yourself who has been doing this work, who sees you, who is here now. To the teenager who had no one, that's not something to minimize. You had to figure things out all on your own. That's remarkable, and the adult you is finally here to say, I see what you carried, you don't have to carry it alone anymore. To the young adult who made survival choices, you are not defined by those choices. You are defined by the fact that you kept going, that you're here, that you're doing this work now. We all needed to be chosen daily in specific, concrete ways. You can do that by reparenting yourself. The shadow work of going back to what was hurt and showing up for it with everything the adult in your life should have brought, but didn't. That's reparenting. Not self-pity, not wallowing, not blame. This is love, specifically, deliberately, actively directed at yourself, at the little person who waited to be chosen and is now finally being chosen by you. Choose yourself today in one specific way, not perfectly, not completely, in one small, real, concrete act of reparenting. Pack your go bag, write the letter to your younger self, move your body in a way that feels good, say something kind to yourself that you mean, and say no and mean it. Do one thing today that tells the wounded parts, I see you, I'm here, you're not alone anymore. Because you're not. You have you now, and that changes everything. In the next episode, we're asking one of the biggest questions of the rebirth season. Who am I now? After the healing and the rage and the reparenting and all of it, who is this person that's emerging? If you need some good tunes in your ears that you really want to heal with, check in the show notes, get that link to my playlist. It's all beautiful music for your ears to help you heal your wounded heart. And then next Wednesday we'll be back. Until then, what a choppy ending. Sorry about that. So here we go. Until then, until next Wednesday, take the gentlest possible care of your awakened heart and your wounded parts. They've been waiting a long time for you to show up, and you're here now. So take care of you, and I'll see you soon.